Hello, angels and demons of the internet. I am your host, not your Annie. Welcome back. Okay, welcome back. And as you can see now, I'm back on PowerPoint. So, welcome back, everyone. Thanks to all who watched my previous videos, like, share, subscribe, or commented. To my subscribers, visitors, certified K-pop fans, or someone who randomly came across this video, I advise to you all to buckle your seatbelt because we're in for a long-ass ride. Welcome to the first episode of a new series on this channel. K-pop idols are transgenders. So that's a series I've been working on for the past few months, and it was really long to put together, but I hope you guys will enjoy it as much as I do. So get ready. It's no secret that a lot of K-pop idols are transgenders. No different from celebrities like Ariana Grande and Beyonce, K-pop idols are satanic Illuminati puppets. And sorry people, I can't read, so please show me your patience. Let's not be intellectually dishonest. Of course, I'm not saying that 100% of all K-pop idols are trans, but they're actually real men and women. This series will analyze the bodies of various male idols. We will not only compare it to the rule of anatomy, but thoroughly explore and understand what are the core differences between male and female bone structure and size, muscle mass, appearance, and other physical aspects of the human body. While female K-pop idols are going to be discussed in episode 2, this first episode will cover male idols, more precisely members of the following group. BTS, and we will discuss BTS in this video and no other K-pop idols. While I only cover BTS, it is important to know that at least all groups from bigger companies are mostly made of transgenders. This would include SM, JYP, YG, and Big Hit Entertainment. And here we have a group winner. And hey, look what they're doing with their hands. Interesting, isn't it? There are a lot of groups from so-called smaller companies and other areas of the entertainment industry who are made of secret transgenders as well. A quick look at their anatomy will prove that fact. And at the end, we will discuss the reason why the entertainment industry would include and promote secret transgenders. So please stay tuned. Before we start, stop the lies. Some people want to spread misinformation about the human body and its differences based on gender. They will say skeleton structures, more precisely skulls, and body composition and shapes varies drastically based on ethnic background and race, as if Asian, Caucasian, and Africans have completely different skulls for some unknown reason, as if the law of anatomy changed from one ethnic group to another. They're saying things like, oh, all Asians just have smaller skulls, or Africans, both male and females, have more pronounced brow ridge because they're more related to monkeys, or something in that fashion. While there is differences between races when it comes to certain aspects like fat distribution and height, but it doesn't matter. Skeletons and most of the human body structural elements are the same regardless of ethnic background. Asians being more lean, or black and African men tending to be taller doesn't change how bones are shaped and relate to each other based on gender. I want you to keep that in mind. Because someone actually left a comment like that. So it's not the moment to start debates on how men and women don't have to commit on my arbitrary body standard when I didn't make the rule. Nature or God did. Let's look at anatomy and K-pop idol bodies, and you draw your own conclusion. And that's really the point I want to make in this video as well. Just look for yourself. I will show pictures and you look for yourself and you draw your own conclusions. So let's start first with male versus female faces. Okay, so here we have a bunch of fancy text right there that shows the differences between male and female skulls. We're not gonna read that. Actually, I simplified it right here. First, female skulls are rounder than male skulls. Males have a more pronounced brow ridge. Males have strong cheekbones. Males have a strong jaw, while female have rounder jaws. Male have deeper skulls. So here it's shown right here. When you see the two differences between the two skulls here, you can see the overall boxy shape of the male skull compared to the female skull, who's more round. And same thing from the side, it's deeper right here, and the jaw is really strong. Oh my god, my phone. Okay, no, sorry. Okay, the jaw is strong right here, and the jaw of the female is more round, and the difference in the chin as well. Male's chin are flat, when female chins are pointy. Here are other differences. The forehead of males are more sloping, while the forehead of females are more vertical. You can see the difference here, and here it's fancy text, but it's to say that it's to show the defined brow ridge in males compared to females. And yeah, so as you can see, female foreheads are more vertical and rounded, while males have more slapping forehead. So here we have two examples on humans, what it would look like, and you can see the clear definition when it comes to the forehead shape. Male versus female skulls. The first difference between males and female skull, it's its overall shape, like we said before. Males have more boxy square skulls, while females have rounder skulls. So here, this is actually a representation of what it looks like when you look at a person, and you can see the clear difference, the overall boxy shape right there, and there's actually the traits of the male face compared to the traits of the female face. Take a look at those couple pictures. We can see the clear difference in both the male and the female overall skull/facial structure. So you can see the difference, like the female is round and the male is square. Here's another example. Sorry, okay. It's important to pay attention to the sharpness of male features, especially the square jaw and strong cheekbones. The male cranium has an overall boxy, squarish shape. So here we have two examples, and this one in particular, the one at the right in particular, with the guy with the makeup, because he's someone that we will qualify as a quote-unquote feminine man, but regardless of him being feminine and wearing makeup, it doesn't change his male features. And you can see the jaw and all that. Here's another one. The square shape of the male skull is not only generated by its bigger and wider size, but the presence of prominent facial bone and muscles. The male face is made of angular shapes, going with the sharp and cleared angled jaw, a pronounced brow ridge, strong cheekbones, a square and flat chin, and a large defined temporal ridge generates its overall boxy shape. So here we have two examples right here. We can see the cleared angled jaw, the pronounced brow ridge on both of them. The strong cheekbones, the strong and defined cheekbones, the chin who's flat, the flat chin, and of course the temporal ridge. But what is the temporal ridge? Sorry. It's actually the line here on the skull. It's right here. Because of its larger size, the temporal ridge appears more defined in males than females. So here we have two examples. You can clearly see on the man right here his temporal ridge compared to the female, because everything is more round, so we don't see it. On the other end, females have a more soft, round, and curving forms. Oh man, I can't read. On the other hand, female skulls are made of more soft, round, and curving forms. It is made of less pronounced brow ridge and cheekbones, a smoother vertical forehead, pointy chin, and round and less angular jaw. So here we have two examples right here. You can see the overall features. The roundness of the face. There's no angle or sharp lines in the female face. No pronounced brow ridge. Other examples: no pronounced brow ridge, no strong cheekbones, round jaw, and pointy chin. And again, regardless of race, it's the same thing. The picture on the right shows a female who would be considered to have a square jaw. Regardless her chin and her jaw shape, her face has an overall round shape. So, and it's the same for both of them, but especially this one right here. When you take a look at her overall shape, everything is round, because some people would like to point right here and be like, oh, look, she has a square jaw and that's a dude. When actually, when you look at her entire face, it's not like that. It's when you everything. And when you take a look at other features, again, no brow ridge, no cheekbone, and a pointy chin, everything is round on her face. More round, I would say. Some food for thought. There's a lot of them in the video, so please consider them. On the universal/international scale, those who possess the most defined/extreme form of those features are often considered the most attractive. It's not me who made the rule, but most people would consider the one at the one right here, the one at the left, to be more attractive because he has a really extreme form of those typical male features. Not that he doesn't have it right here. Of course he does. He has a more squarish shape. That's not the round face of a female, of course. But some people, because it's the extreme, really intense form of male features, of course the one right here would be considered to be more attractive to most people in this world. So let's look at some quote-unquote male celebrities' faces. And we will, of course, start with BTS and analyze their faces. I would like to specify that we are looking at anatomy and not other distraction like makeup and hairstyles. All members' facial structure follow those guidelines. Round oval cranium, no cheekbone, no pronounced brow ridge, smooth, round and vertical forehead, round jaw, pointy chin, the entire face made of soft, shaped, smooth, and round shapes and lines. Sorry, I can't read, but you get my point. So we're just going to start with Queen Sugar. Let me take some water. Wait. So first, of course, we see Queen Sugar right here. She has a really oval, you can see the ovalness of her entire face. Here's another picture. We see it more. Everything is really round. There's no angle or any form. And of course, it matches more of the picture right here. The one below. No pronounced brow ridge, no cheekbone, pointy chin. No jaw. The jaw thing with BTS, it's really intense. And Suga in particular, her jaw, like she has no jaw. Her jaw is really, really round. Here you see a bit better. Her round vertical forehead, it's not slopping. It's really round. No jaw, no angle at the jaw. No cheekbone. No pronounced brow ridge. Pointy chin, and again, even with the hair, you can see her oval face, and you can see here as well. Her cranium is not deep; it's really, really small, and you see it again on the other picture as well. Next, we have member Jin. You can see the oval face again, and no jaw right there, and you decide which one is more appropriate. Okay, this one in particular, no jaw. There's no angle at the jaw. Really round jaw right here. Round vertical forehead right there. Even with the hair, it's the same thing. No cheekbone, no pronounced brow ridge. A really pointy chin. Everything is smooth. There's the face is made of smooth lines, and here you can see her cranium is really small, and it's not deep because if they were males, her cranium would be deeper, and also she would have more angles in her face, and more precisely her jaw, because you can see right here there's nothing going on right here. So next we have member Tay Tay V from BTS. Okay, you decide which one is more appropriate. Here you can see her round vertical, no cheekbone, you don't see no cheekbone, no jaw, and a really, really pointy chin. You can see the chin is really pointy, because if they were males, it would be flat and not pointy. No pronounced brow ridge. The one that really stands out is the jaw, and you can see the head is not deep at all. It's really small. Next, it's member J-Hope. So you decide if it looks more like this, or it looks more like that. And I know her, she butchered her face a lot. She got a lot of surgery because people were calling her ugly. So she didn't look like that before, I remember at some point. And she got cheek fillers because her cheeks weren't that big before. But regardless of her cheek fillers, she still has this overall roundness in her face, because of course the fillers is to emulate the strong facial muscles of a man, because men have strong cheekbones. Okay, so here you see it again. No jaw whatsoever. There's no angle at the jaw. And here you see it really well. You can see the roundness of the face. The cranium is not deep at all. It's really small. The round vertical forehead, it goes straight up and it's round. And no cheekbone. Okay. Because don't get fooled, because her cheekbones, if she appears to have cheekbones, then in her case it's fake. And her pointy chin. Right here. Here's my queen, Jimin. Yes. So here we have the queen, Jimin. You can see her oval face. Her no brow ridge, no cheekbones, pointy chin. Here you see it better. Even with the airline, her overall face is so oval. There's no angle anywhere, no cheekbone, no brow ridge. And you decide if it looks like this or it looks like this. Okay, again, you see no angle at the jaw. It's the round jaw, pointy chin. And here, that's the trick they do. They modify their airline, because you can see they try to made it square, to give it a square shape. So when you look at her, you can see that she has a more square head. But it's a trick. But in reality, it doesn't change it doesn't change how smooth and vertical her forehead is. And especially her entire face, it's oval. There's no angle anywhere. And you can see no brow ridge, no cheekbones, and pointy chin. And again, you can see the cranium is really, really small. Yes, it's after it's the Princess Jungkook. So here you decide if it looks like this right here or this right here. Okay, again, you can see her entire face. It's really round. She has no jaw whatsoever. Here again, you can see the cranium is not deep, no brow ridge, no cheek. I know I'm repeating myself, but that's basically the map of not the map of the soul, but the map of their faces. It's basically the same thing. No brow ridge right here, no pronounced brow ridge, no strong cheekbones. The entire face is oval, pointy chin, because if they were males, the chin would be flat, and they would have a clear angle right here in her jaw, but there's none. So my favorite, next we have the queen, trap queen monster, rap monster, cookie monster, Namjoon. We have my favorite, Namjoon, aka rap monster, trap queen monster. I don't know. When you look at her face, you can see, regardless of her hairstyle or whatever, you can see her entire face is more oval, and You choose if it looks like this or it looks like this. You decide. I'm not gonna, I'm just asking. And because my sister said that before, that Namjoon's, she has the weakest chin she ever seen in her life. Her no chin, no angle, no, excuse me, jaw. Her jaw is so weak. No angle jaw, no cheekbones, strong defined cheekbones, no pronounced brow ridge, and you can see even with her hairline, it's round, and her entire face is an oval. And again, again, it's food for thought. So so you can reflect about that. It's not to mock or to ridicule anyone, but I just want people to reflect a little bit. When you take a look at Namjoon and what she looks like, not me, but a lot of people in this world would identify her and her looks as a typical butch. And that's exactly what she looks like. So here's a picture of one right here, a proud one. And they actually look similar. They have similar facial structures, no brow ridge, no cheekbone, oval face, no jaw. And which is interesting, not to demean anybody or to ridicule anyone, nor to be homophobic or anything, but it's just to make you think, because and it's actually interesting that they look similar, because in reality Rap Monster is a female, so that's why they actually look the same. So I want you to think about that. Going with their facial features, we can also notice the presence of a smaller, slim neck and no Adam's apple, which is important. They don't have Adam's apples. Okay, I'll just pick random pictures on Google Image. So here we have a Trap Queen Monster and Jimin. You can see here there's no Adam's apple here, no Adam's apple here, no Adam's apple, and you can see how slim and really small their neck are. And again, they still have the same features, no jaw, no brow ridge, no cheekbone, and all, everything we discussed a few seconds earlier. Here we have Taekook, V, and Jungkook. No, the roundness of the face, but her neck is really small, and there's no Adam's apple here. Here we have how's it called? Namkook, RM, and Jungkook. You see the neck right here. There's no Adam's apple, and regardless of their clothing or anything, you can see the roundness of the face, no cheekbones. And here you have J-Hope and Jungkook. And from the side, again, you see the cranium, who's not really deep right here, and the neck is really slim, and there's no Adam's apple going on right here. So here you see it better right here when it comes to the shape of their faces, because they're looking up. You can see everything is so round, no jaw going on. The chin is really, really pointy, and again, there's no Adam's apple either on Suga right here, or on Jin, or even on J-Hope right there. And here we have other members, Jungkook, Namjoon, and Jimin. And when you take a look at their necks, there's no Adam's apple on their necks, and also their neck are really slim and really tiny. And that's a pretty picture, actually. That's a pretty picture. Next, we have right here, we have a member V right here and member J-Hope. Again, the roundness of the face, regardless if she's wearing a turtleneck, you can see how slim her neck is. Okay, we don't see a V, but it's the same thing. And again, the roundness of the face, no brow ridge, no cheekbones, pointy chin. And here you have them all together. Oh my god, this is bad. This is really bad. When you take a look at their necks, there's no Adam's apple. You see V right here, Jin, J-Hope, Jimin, Namjoon, Jungkook, Suga. There's no Adam's apple, and oh my god, Jimin is so fucking bad. Like, you can see the ovalness of the face. There's no jaw, no cheekbones, no brow ridge. And it's not because they're wearing makeup. It's really like when you take a look at the shape of their faces. So here we have Soap, Sugar, and J-Hope. And you can see, take a look at their necks. There's no Adam's apple. There's no Adam's apple here either. You can see them from the side as well. And the neck is really slim. And they still have the same other features we talked about. You know, a round face and no brow ridge, no cheekbones. Oh, okay. Here you have Namjoon and Jin from. This is a picture from 2013 when they debuted, and it was worse. It was worse before. And again, you see their necks. There's no Adam's apple going on, and the neck is really. I know it's when you take a look at the overall image, like when you take a look at the proportion between their bodies, their heads, and the neck is really slim. And another reason why I took this picture in particular is when you take a look at Namjoon. Like, do you guys understand what I mean when saying she looks like your typical what the world would identify as a butch, because that's really what she looks like. And that's interesting because in reality, Rap Monster is a woman. And I just want you to just look at this and what comes to your mind first. And it's not to be homophobic, again, it's just to make you think. So here we have Jimin and Jungkook at the left right here. You see their necks. There's no Adam's apple. The neck is really slim. In the middle we have Taekook, V, and Jungkook. The neck really slim. No Adam's apple whatsoever. And here we have J-Hope and Jimin. Her no Adam's apple. Okay, excuse me. My phone is ringing. Wait. Okay, wait. Okay, I received a message. Wait. What the fuck is that video? BTS are not females. What about their sharp jaws, lines, and defined Adam's apples? Okay, well, she sent the picture. Wait. Okay, what's her name? Pretty Girl 99. Okay, she a fan of BTS. Okay, wait. Let me see. Okay, that's Jin. Okay, I see. Okay, I see. You know, you see the jaw right here. Okay. See the Adam's apple. Okay, yeah. Okay, I see what you mean. Wait, I have an answer for that. Wait. Aside from the picture being heavily photoshopped, it's important to let it known that BTS look nothing like they were before. So here we have below. Those are more recent images of them. But here above you have pictures of them in 2013. And you can clearly see the difference in their faces. Everything is oval. And everything is round. Certain features present in 2020 weren't in the past, since their faces still possessed most of their feminine characteristics regardless of the amount of plastic surgery they get. Their so-called sharp jaws and artificial Adam's apple, who appears out of nowhere, cannot be used as a proof of them being males and having any male facial traits. A little look at their old pictures will confirm it. And also, there's various plastic surgeries and implants available to achieve a more masculine features. So here at the left, we have examples of type of surgeries that transgender people would use. Female to male transgenders, FTMs, will use to look more masculine. There's different implants, but of course, in K-pop, the most common you can notice is the implant of the jaw right here, the thing right here, or the change in shape from in the jaw. And also you can get surgeries to get an artificial Adam's apple. So here we have my queen, Jimin, in 2013 at the left and in 2020 at the right. Here you can see she still have the same round feet. It's even, again, it was worse in 2013. The roundness of the face, but when you take a look at her neck, there's nothing going on here. There's no Adam's apple, nothing. But in 2020, you can see a little thing right here, and you know, a little change in shape in the jaw and the chin as well, but it wasn't like that before. And that's basically the same thing for all the members of BTS. So here we have J-Hope at 2013 at 2013 right here, and 2020 right here. And again, she said she's the one who butchered her face the most. you can see the change in shape right here of the jaw. Right here, it's more intense right now than it was before. You see, okay, the little thing, the little thing going on right here. But again, when you take a look at her in 2013, she had nothing. Those features weren't there before, so she got surgery to achieve them. And again, there's no Adam's apple back in 2013. So here we remember Jungkook, who's really bad as well because she did a lot of surgery for her jaw and stuff like that. Here you have I think Jungkook in 2019 and here in 2014 or 2015. You can see before her entire face was really round, but right now she has this defined angled jaw with no root, whatever, just this angle right here coming out of nowhere. But it wasn't there before. And again, she has no Adam's apple back in 2014. Here we have member Jin. You take a look at her face. Again, no jaw. Yeah, they modified. Right now it's different. But before it wasn't there. And again, when you take a look at her neck, there's no Adam's apple whatsoever. When you look for BTS and Adam's apples, a lot of fans want to pass a defined throat as an equivalent for an Adam apple when it's obviously not. And that's the type of pictures you find when you try to Google BTS and Adam's apples. It's just stuff like this that comes up, but it's not the same thing. So here we have Cookie Monster. Sorry, Chop Queen Monster. In 2020, here you can see the little thing right here. Let's give credit. When it's due, let's give credit. And the change of shape in the jaw, even though her entire face is still round, you can see, okay, they changed a little bit the shape of the jaw right here. But in 2013, nothing of this was there. And you can take a look at her neck. There's no Adam's apple going on and in her neck, and you can obviously tell it's a female just by looking at this picture. And next we have member V. Okay, there's a clear change in the jaw shape, even though she still possesses her feminine characteristics or female facial characteristics. You can see, okay, there's a little thing going on, But when you take a look at her in 2013, she didn't have no jaw. It was more intense, and there's no Adam's apple again. And let's not act as if, Adam's apple or stuff that appears out of nowhere because of training or just, no. And Sugar, my queen Sugar, of course, she doesn't care. She doesn't have an Adam's apple now. She didn't have one before. So Sugar just don't care. And she had no job before. She has no job now. So Sugar, she don't give a shit, Sugar has just no male facial characteristic whatsoever. Okay, what's a real man's face? A real male face? It's this. What you see right here. An example of a real male facial features are those present on Halsey's face. She is a FTM, a male to female transgender. Strong cheekbones, sharp and angled jaw, square, boxy skull, sloping forehead, flat chin, pronounced brow ridge, and defined temporal ridge. So her face anatomy is the total opposite of BTS members, and it is true. Here you have a Sugar, and you have a Halsey right here. When you take a look at her face, it's the complete opposite. Her entire face is more square compared to Sugar, who's more oval. And again, you take a look, pronounced brow ridge, strong cheekbones, and the most obvious is, of course, how the sharp angled jaw, and her head is just gigantic. And again, you have her next to BTS members, and it's more obvious when it comes to how boxy her skull is. So you take a look right here, you could draw a square, a cube over her skull compared to BTS members. Especially you have a Jimin right here. You can see her face is more round and it's not as huge as Halsey's face, and more precisely her jaw and her cheekbones. Those are the most obvious features you can spot on her. on him. Sorry. So point number 2, male versus female bodies. Let's cover the male and female bodies and their differences. They are clearly defined, but to simplify, women have an hourglass body shape and males have a T body shape. Keep that in mind. So first, male shoulders are the largest part of their bodies. It is longer to support the larger male rib cage and larger torso. Male shoulders hang across like a capital T, while female shoulders hang like a capital letter A. Again, the neck we talked before, but here to be more specific. To support their larger skulls, males have a wider and more defined neck. The trapezoids muscles are massive to support the weight of their skulls and longer collarbones and shoulders. Male necks have a mass that females don't have. Female neck are narrower and slimmer. Narrower and slimmer. So here we have a difference, between male and female necks. It is a misconception that a woman's neck is usually longer than a male's. The length of the neck doesn't matter. It's the width that matters. Males have heavier skulls, so require a wider neck to support. So that is the reason for a wider neck. Males have longer shoulders, so they have more developed, stronger, and more massive trapezoid. Sorry, I don't know how to say that. Sorry. Trapezoids, muscles to support the shoulders and neck. Anything else, it's pseudoscience, not proven, and not true. It's only there to confuse, so you have a pre-conditioned mindset on how females and males should look. Again, we talked about the Adam's apple with BTS. Okay, the shoulder and hip ratio. Okay, the primary differences is the relationship of the shoulder width and the hips. Women have much broader pelvic bone than men, since they need to be able to bear and give birth to a child. It means that in women, the hip line is the broadest part of the body, while in men, the broadest part is the shoulder line. And again, you have a representation right here that women have a typical hourglass figure, that because of the wider hips, there's a smaller waist by contrast. But in males, the largest point of their body is their shoulders. Here's 2 examples of male bodies. Muscular or skinny, their torso goes straight up and down. There's no apparent curves. So you see it right here on the pictures. Males flare up towards their armpits into a V shape upward because their shoulders are longer and go across the trunk of the body. Females flare downwards towards the hips because the pelvic is longer across the trunk of the body. This means that males spread upwards while females spreads downwards. So that means that a woman's body juts out at her hips and a man's body juts out at his shoulders. So it's always the shoulder in males versus hips in the females. Male pelvises are longer in length, while female pelvises are shorter and wider in width. So you have here a representation of how it looks like on the picture. The smaller shoulders and its differences in pelvic size generate an hourglass figure in females. A woman's waistline is level at the belly button, but a man's appear much lower. This makes the torso of a man looks longer. A man's belly button sits lower towards his pelvis in relationship to his longer torso, while a female's belly button sits higher above her pelvis in relationship to her shorter torso. Here's female bodies. There is a clear demarcation of their waist and they have an hourglass figure, meaning the hips being the larger or around the same length as the shoulders, who varies in intensity. So all women have a hourglass figure, but some are more intense than others. The pelvis is shaped like a bucket. In males, the bucket is held straight up, but in females, it is tilted forward so females can carry the baby when pregnant. Since the female pelvis is shaped like a bucket tilted forward, it generates a noticeable curve in the lower back region. For male, following the direction of the pelvis, the lower back is more straight than females. Those differences also affect how the stomach appears. A female tummy will curve from the side and also downward at an acute angle, sloping into the pelvis from the belly button, while a man's tummy will be flat and straight, both from the side and downward towards the pelvis. So it's to say that when you look at the stomach, for a man, it goes straight up like this, but in females, there's this, curve right here, right before going into the pelvis region. Buttock shape. In women, there is a smoother transition from the lower back to the buttocks. Still, note that in reasonably slim bodies, a woman's buttocks are rounded. A man's tend to flatness both in the stomach and buttocks. So here you have a representation. And this one is really important. I want you to keep this one in mind. A little reminder of the main differences between males and female bodies are: hourglass versus capital letter T. The surest way to distinguish a male from a female is to look at the pelvis, hips, and hourglass figure which female have because of the wider pelvis as a deciding factor. FTMs are the queen of deception. Excessive exercising and hormone therapy can generate convincing results. Regardless of the amount of bulkiness in the upper body, the size of the hips don't lie and never will. So here we have a picture of a FTM, a female to male transgender. And again, it's what I said when to say that they really are the queen of deception, even more than MTFs, male to female transgenders. So of course, when you take a look at this picture right here, it's really convincing. But not only the torso is not straight up and down, you can still see that it curves in right here and then it comes out. So you can see you see it more right here above the belly button right here. It comes in and then it comes out. So again, that's trickery. And there's another thing they do, female to male transgenders, and you can see it on this picture, and you need to keep that in mind as well, is you can see how low she's wearing her pants. And that's a trick they do because they want to emulate the longer torso of a male, because female have shorter torso, so they lower their pants so it appears lower. And this curve right here, which is the hips, they want to pretend that it's the iliac crest of a muscular man. That usually, this curve, when a man is muscular, you see this curve going into the pelvic region. It doesn't look like that on real men, but the FTMs, what they do, they use their hips to create this fake look. And we're going to see other examples of that in further in the presentation. So let's take a look at some quote-unquote male celebrity bodies. I'm repeating myself, but we will start with BTS and analyze their bodies. We are looking at anatomy, and I guess you guys should know by now. Let's start with Kim Seok-jin. Among her fellow bandmates, she's the most obvious to detect since she is known among BTS fans for having a clear defined hourglass figure and wide hips. All the other members have similar body structures. Okay. So here first we see on those pictures how tiny her torso is. Her torso is really, really small. And if she was a man, it would be wider. Because males have bigger torsos. So next on the left, you can see her slim neck. I know we talked about it before, but there's other examples. Again, no Adam's apple. But her slim neck, and at the right, her capital letter A shoulders, and how it goes downward. Her shoulder are shaped like a capital letter A. Sukjin, that's her real name. Sukjin is also known for having broad, gigantic shoulders. Not only those hang like a capital letter A, she sometimes appears like she's wearing shoulder pads. Fans blow this particular feature out of proportion and make it bigger than what it really is. No pun intended. All this at the same time as ignoring how wide her hips are and her hourglass figure. And here you also have her fellow bandmates Jungkook, and she also have a capital letter A shaped shoulders. So here you have her body. What's her body look like? And you can tell here, starting from her shoulder right here, it comes in at the waist and then it comes out. So that's obviously the body of a female. So here's other examples, and you can tell here again it's the same thing going on. She at her waist, it comes in right here and then it comes out at the waist, and you can see the obvious curves on the side of her body, because if she was a male it would just go straight up and down, and it's not the case for her. And you can see it right here, again the trick with the pants that I've talked about, they wear their pants lower. And you can see the curve going in right here, right above the belly button. Again, the really deep lower back curves and the round behind. Next, it's my queen, Jimin. She also has a curvy figure. One of her most noticeable features is her deep lower back curve and perky huge behind. Again, you can see it's the same thing for Jin than for her, Jimin. You can see her entire body. Again, the trick with the pants, they wear their pants really low. You can see her body right here, but there's something, it comes in at the waist right here, and then it comes out right there. So again, here's Jimin, and regardless of her wearing a jacket, you can see how tiny her torso is. Her torso is really, really small. Again, the capital letter A shoulders and the slim neck, like we talked before, and no Adam's apple. The hourglass figure, you can see how her body comes in and then it comes out. Even on this side right here, and you see it better from behind, because then here her shoulders, but then it comes in right here and then it comes out. It comes in at the waist and then it comes out. And like we said, the thing with Jimin, she has a really deep lower back curve, and her behind is just gigantic. And you can tell really right here how it comes in and then how it comes out right here. This is obviously the body of a female, and here you can tell like her lower back curves goes really in really deep, and it's at the level of the waist. So again, you can see the round buttocks right here of Jimin, and with the pants she's wearing, you can see how her body comes in at the waist and then it comes out. But just some food for thought again, they did this weird photo shoot where they're reacting acts of sodomy, which I think is really strange, especially if you think that there's children consuming, BTS content and stuff like that. Like why would they do something this bold and so shamelessly? Like you see right here, at first we had Jimin right here, and it's J-Hope doing it. And then you have J-Hope, it's Jimin again. And then you have Namjoon. He's doing it with a brush. That's intense for no fucking reason, for real. Like they're really pushing it for real. Like he's putting a brush in her behind. Sorry. So here you have Jin, sorry, and then you have Sugar. Yeah, It's just weird. I know it's what they do behind closed doors, but it's just weird that they would just make a photo shoot like that. And also, it's weird because a lot of fans, when they saw this, they were really confused. Okay, back to the program. Next, it's BTS youngest member Jungkook. While she has what many would identify as developed abs and her muscles, her body is still made of an hourglass figure, like Seokjin. So here you see her really tiny torso and her capital letter A shoulders. And you have a sugar too. It's the same thing. They have the same shoulder shape. The slim neck, and no Adam's apple, of course. Here the hourglass figure. Here when you take a look right here, it's right here, and then it comes in, and then it comes out right there. And right here, the reason when you take a look at this picture is that her hips is almost just as wide as her shoulders. Her hips right here are really, really large. And because her shoulders are not the largest point in her figure. And here's other example. Again, you can see the curve right here. More on this side, sorry. The curve right here. And even more obvious right here, you see her hips right there, and then it comes in at the waist at this point. The lower back curves going in really deep, and the round shaped buttocks. Like, oh, like what the it's bad. It's really bad. Like, they're putting Nicki Minaj to shame, like, for real. When you really take a look at their bodies, like, for real. Next, J-Hope. I'm your hope, you're my hope, I'm J-Hope. Sorry, y'all, I'm sorry. Again, the tiny torso, especially on this picture right here, and the shoulder hanging like a capital letter A. The slim neck, like we talked before, and no Adam Zappo. The hourglass figure, you see here, the hips are so wide to the point where it's matching the shoulders. And here it's the trick I've talked about before. They put their shorts or pants or whatever really, really low, so it could make their torso look longer. But when you take a look, not only right here, right above the belly button or at the belly button, it comes in and then it comes out. And what you see here, it's the round shape right here. It's actually the round female pelvis, and they're trying to use this to pass it as a iliac caress, but it's not. It's actually his hip, her hips. Here you have the lower back curves and how her buttocks are shaped. It's really round, and you can see here it comes in right there, and then it comes out. Next, like I said, my queen Suga, she has no masculine body features whatsoever. Just like for her face, there's nothing masculine about Suga, and they're not even trying compared to the other members when it comes to her. So here you have the tiny torso, the capital letter A shoulders, her slim neck, her hourglass figure. Here it's more about, like, when you take a look at how she's moving, that her body is like this and then it comes out like that. And you have an example of her sitting down. It's just, you can see from the side, from her pelvis area, and then at the waist right here, it comes in and then it comes out. It's like there's this hourglass shape. And here, her sitting down, you can see at the hip right here. Sorry, you can see at the waist. Sorry, the waist. It comes in really deep compared to her hips. And her, again, the lower back curves going in really deep, and her buttocks are of a round shape. And gigantic. Next, V. Okay, you can see how tiny her torso is and the shape of her shoulders. Again, that's another picture with her and Jimin. When you see their entire bodies, like how tiny the torso is. Her slim neck and no Adam's apple. You can see her hourglass figure. Right here, how it comes in at this point, and this roundness over here. And right here, you can see how her hips matches her shoulders and size. Here's another one. Even with the fancy woo-woo big clothes, whatever type of shirt she has on, you can see how in the hip, in the pelvic region, you can see not only the curviness going on, but you can see in this picture, like this region is not only just as wide as the shoulders, and it's also really round as well, so you can tell, regardless of her huge shirt. Lower back curves goes in really deep, and round buttocks. Again, this one is more obvious than this one, but this one is like how deep her shirt goes in right at this point, and then it comes out. Another picture of the again the curve of the lower back, and the huge behind, and round shaped as well. Huge round shape behind. My favorite. Finally, Namjoon, also known as RM, Rap Monster, Trap Queen Monster. Among all the members of her group, she's the most convincing when it comes to pretending to be a male, mostly because of her overall look, clothing choices, and the persona attached to her public image. Regardless, her figure is still made of typical female characteristics. So here you have small torso, capital A shoulders, slim neck, hourglass figure. Same one for this right here and the other one right here. You see it more right here, but it's how wide the hips are and how they're almost the same length as the shoulders. Her shoulders are not taking over. It's not the largest point of her body because her hips right here are just as large. Here you can see the round buttocks and their lower back curves going in really deep. And let me just point out something. Also, food for thought. Food for thought. Why are they all like? I know they're supposed to be guys and stuff, and not to demean anyone, but I think it's just strange that they always have handbags like that. I think there was another picture of Sugar, something like that. Like they always have like handbags. I think it's so strange. Whatever. Maybe I'm tripping. Okay, point number 3. Other anatomical features. The hip joints. A small detail but significant. A woman's hip joint juts outside of the pelvic bone because of the wider pelvis, making the hips and legs to be more further apart. This visibly shows in the body, and this helps to capture the female curves because of it. This jutting out is sometimes very prominent and sometimes not so prominent depending on the females. In contrast, a men's hip joints are inside the pelvic bone. So here you have an example like X-ray right here of what the difference between a men's hip joint and a female hip joint. Of course, we don't see it clearly. It's just to be more to more understand. It looks more like this, to say that the hip joint right here, you can see in women it comes out outside of the pelvic bone, so there's like this bump right there, not only because of the hip joint but also because of the pubic heart right here, who's larger and wider and bigger in females because so females can be able to bear children, but just it's the overall difference, and you can see how the hip joint affects the shape of the body in males and in females. The Q angle. The Q angle of the body is more acute in women. The Q angle is the angle from which the thigh from the hip meets the knee. The reason that is more acute in females is because the pelvis is wider and the pubic arch is wider in female pelvises, making the leg to be more further apart, joint at the knee. So, when a woman walks, her whole body would lean towards the side that has the greater Q angle, from which foot is supporting it. We will of course explain this a little deeper, but you can see here on the picture is when you look at the angle from the knee to the hip, it's wider in females right here, and also you can see it causes the different shape in males and females, shape of the pelvic region, but the Q angle is wider in female. The widest part of a woman is usually her hips and buttocks area, while the widest part of a man is the shoulder area. A man's center of gravity is in his shoulders. That's why men move or walk from the shoulders, or swag as we say it. All the motion of a man is in his shoulders. So you can see here, when a man walks, he moves from his shoulders. A woman's center of gravity is in the hips, so that's why woman seems to catwalk, because all the motion is from the hips, and the shoulders and arms will always cling to the body and not away from it. And to understand this a little better, here's an example of the differences in how women and men walk. In women, the pelvic bone needs to move along the femur as women walk. But in males, the pelvis stay roughly in the same position while men walk. And this is really like one of the biggest differences is that when men walk, like the pelvis stays roughly in the same position, but in females it actually moves. So here we have member suction, and when we talk about the hip joint and the shape of the hip joint, how it's outside of the pelvic bone, you can see well right here how this thing, the shape right here, because she's walking, so you can see right here the hip joint right here, and here's a photo of her pelvic area, and you can see the bump right here. That's the hip joint. Because if it was a male, it would they wouldn't have this huge curve right here. So here we have member Jimin, and she's walking, and her pelvis is moving along with her femur. Here's Jungkook. It's the same thing. And there's this whole motion. Compared to males, that when they walk, there's this whole motion going on with the pelvis when they walk. You can see it right here. Right here, see her pelvis is moving along her legs. Yeah, you see really well right here that how her hip sways right to left when she walks, and that's really the difference, because if they were males, her pelvis would just stay in the same place, but when she walks, you see it really well right here. You can see her pelvis and her entire hips, they're swaying from left to right when she walks. Here you have member Sugar. It's the same thing. And again, she has a handbag for some goddamn reason. Here you see it, like when she walks, her pelvis is moving, her long swing from left to right when she walks. And this is a V from BTS. Here you have member Rap Monster, Arham Namjoon, I don't know. And then you can see her pelvic region is moving, how it's moving when she's walking. And to be more precise, when you take a look at her figure right here, you can see this curve coming out right here. It's actually the hip joint of a female, because there's this curve in females because of the hip joint. Generally speaking, a woman's body is made up of soft, rounded shapes, breast and buttocks, but also the fact that when not modified, the female body stocks more fat under the skin. Men bodies are more angular and have harsher line when they are muscular, and that's an important factor as well, that when you look at the entire figure of a woman, like everything is round, everything is soft, but a man, everything is, angular, rectangle, and there's another thing, you gonna understand what I mean. And the thing with the members of BTS, when you take a look at the figure, there's all this curviness going on that's really interesting. Here you see member Jungkook. You can see like the roundness here, her thighs. It comes in when it's not. It's more about like when you look at their body. Like everything is soft, everything is round. There's this roundness going on right there. The softness of the shapes and lines making the body. You see it right here, right there. Sorry, I need water. You see it again, this roundness. You see round shapes, soft lines. Again, she has shoulder pads right here, but when you look at her body, just this whole softness, this roundness going on. And again, here you see her hips right there, but you can see it's round. Here's a member Jimin. It's the same thing. Here's member V. It's just the round shapes making the body. Here you have a member Seokjin. Oh, okay, you can see like wow right here, wow going on, and when you look at her body shape right there, it's all round. Oh man, Rob Monster, my god. And you can see even there like the softness of the body parts making the body, and here my favorite, you like, especially you look the knees, the crotch area, everything is round and soft. And again, what I said about Rap Monster looking like a butch, like really you need to really see it and to look at various pictures of their bodies. But here's another one. Even though they're wearing baggy clothes, like you see this softness and roundness going on in their figure. Because yeah, and you may think, then what's the opposite of soft and round lines then? It's something like Blackpink, Lisa's body. When you look at Lisa, who's a MTF, male to female transgender, her body shapes and lines making the body are angular and harsh instead of smooth and round like the ones on the body of BTS members. So here you see like her sharpness and her body shape. There's no roundness. Here's a other example. You look at her body, it's really angular. Lisa's body looks like it was made from a bag of rocks. I'm not trying to be funny or to body shame her because she's skinny. While Jimin's body and her gigantic behind looks like it was made of fluffy clouds. They also generate a different sound when you trace a line along their bodies. What I mean when it generates a different sound, it sounds so stupid, but please listen to me. When you look at Lisa's body, like if you had to trace a line across her figure, it would go like k k k k k k k. You know, when you look at Jimin, everything is wow. You know, it's really going wow, wow, wow. It sounds so stupid, but it's true. It's true. Again, you took cook. There's no wow with Lisa. When you trace a line across the body of Lisa, and okay, and again, you look wow, wow, wow. It sounds so stupid, but it is what it is. Especially wow, because they don't have this sharpness, those angled shapes in their figure for it to generate a different sound. And again, I'm gonna go back to Lisa. To Lisa, when you take a look at her, her shoulders, like everything is sharp, everything is it's angular, you know, it's rectangle shapes. There's no curve like wow going on, especially right here. There's no round sound when you look at the body of Lisa. Okay. Next, number 4. It's feminine and masculine energy. When it comes to the differences between male and female females, genitals, facial features, and body proportion comes in mind first. While this way of thinking has its validity, I can't read, sorry. We often leave behind key elements of what makes us male and female, the energy we exude. It can be found in our eyes, the window of the soul. There is a clear difference between males and females when it comes to the different vibe / energy our eyes release. Okay, so we have an Asian man and an Asian woman. It may sound stereotypical, but males have a strong energy, which is the opposite of females who usually exude a softer feminine energy. So here you have the women because they have similar features. They look similar, but you can see when you take a look in their eyes, it's not the same thing. On her side, it's more soft, more feminine, and on the other side, when you take a look at his eyes, it's more harsh, even if he's smiling, in comparison to her female counterpart, of course. So here we have member Jungkook. Like I've said before, FTMs are really deceptive, and some of them could pass as male, but what betrays a lot of them is the energy they exude. To find it is crucial to look into the eyeballs. A quick look will show us a soft and feminine energy coming out of that person's eyes. So you have an example right here of a member Jungkook. When you take your, like, really outside of her hair, her face and all, when you take a look inside of her eyeballs, it's the energy that comes out of it, and you can clearly see on the image right here, the feminine energy coming out of Jungkook's eyes. It is a vital element to identify someone's gender, because since it is energy, no amount of makeup, plastic surgery, or fancy clothing can hide or alter it. So here you have a BTS. Again, it's not about the hair, it's not about the makeup, it's not about the lipstick they're wearing. It's when you take a look at their eyes and what's inside of their eyes, you can sense this soft energy coming out of their eyeballs. So here you have member And again, you see here she's wearing a mask. She's hiding her face, but it's still the same thing. There's this soft energy coming out of her eyes, and it's really a deciding factor for a lot of FTMs because they get muscles. Really they're really good at deceiving people, but really this is one of an important factor to find their true gender. So here you, again, this is member J-Hope. Like when you take a look into her eyeballs, here you have a member Jimin and member J-Hope. Again, it's inside the eyes. What do you see? And the type of energy coming out of the eyes. Again, like I said, my queen Sugar, she doesn't give a shit. She doesn't care. This is, when you look at the eyes of Sugar, what do you see? And like I've said before, it's really important because it's different from just like when we started the presentation, I used a picture of a male with makeup and a picture of James Charles, which are quote unquote feminine men, but they don't exude that soft energy that BTS have inside of their eyes. And that's really important to keep in mind. So here we have a Sugar, my queen. Is it too much popping sound? Anyway. Here you have member V. Here you have... Oh, that's a pretty picture. You have V and Jimin. It's not the makeup, it's not the clothing, you need to look at their eyeballs. I know I'm gonna repeat this till I'm blue in the face, but it is what it is. Here you have member Jin, sorry. Which is, this one is really obvious. Here you have member Jungkook. At the left you have Jungkook, and at the right you have Jin. Again, they're hiding the rest of their faces, but it's still the same thing. I've said that Namjoon/RM was the most convincing at pretending being a male, but her true gender shows when you take a look at the energy coming out of her eyeballs. And again, Rap Monster, she has this whole styling, this whole persona that she looks really more masculine than the other ones, but her really, when you take a look in her eyes, that's really where the truth shows itself. And again, it's not about her makeup or the color of her hair or anything. It's not about this. It's really when you look into her eyes. Oh, okay. This one is bad. Again, you may not still understand what I'm talking about, but I'm gonna explain again what I mean by energy and what's coming out of a woman's eyeballs or a man's eyeballs. So to be more specific, pay close attention to this picture. We have the quote-unquote boy group BTS. Next to them, a female Muslim fan. Can you see it? All their stares and eyes look similar. Wow, she could be a BTS member. Not only their eyes exude the same energy, but they have similar facial features as well. Round cranium, no cheekbones, etc. But remember, the Muslim fan is supposed to be the only females on the picture. And this is why this picture is so pretty. It's because look how she blends in. She basically has the same face as they do. And not only that, their eyes are all similar. The energy coming out of the eyes is the same from her. Here you have Jimin right next to her, but it's the same for all of them. And that's why she blends in so well in the picture. And that's why this one is really, this picture right here is really telling. And it's what I mean by the difference in energy when it comes to the stare of a woman and the stare of a man. So here, she's supposed to be the only woman on the picture, but yet her eyes and all the energy she's exuding is the same as BTS. So it's just some food for thought. See through the deception. There are specific ways in which female to male transgenders use to hide their true genders. So we're gonna go on this really quickly, so you guys can grasp the entire idea. There's in which ways female to male transgenders use, what ways they use to deceive people into thinking they're males. We're just gonna go into it. Okay, first they pack a lot of muscle and building shoulders and building shoulder muscle by excessive workout. So of course, when it comes to showing their abs and stuff like that, BTS are not into it. So we're gonna take a look at EXO instead, because they actually have examples of them removing their shirts, which is not the case for BTS. But EXO are no different. They're women trying to pretend that they're males. Since a woman's center of gravity and widest part of the body, like we said before, are the hips, FTMs try to fake a T-shaped body and long torso of a male by developing their shoulders and upper body as much as they can. So here we have an example of it's a woman. To hide their hourglass figure, they do specific workout targeting specific areas of the body. Okay, coming from her FTM herself, thinking of an hourglass shape again, imagine that it is now contained within a rectangle, like a traditional hourglass. We know that we can't take in the widest part of our hourglass as they are set where they are. But what we can do is bring out the narrowest part. This removes the curves and creates a more rectangular shape. So here you have it's a woman right here, but because of exercise and again other tricks, like I said, wearing the shorts really low, she's able to emulate what may pass as a male torso. The most important muscles to focus are the obliques. You find that focusing on developing your obliques and abs will be enough to minimize the appearance of your hips. And that's basically the goal, it's to minimize the appearance of your hips. A well-developed lats create a flaring of the upper body towards the shoulders. And here's the muscle right there. When they work this muscle, it helps to create this T body shape. Well-developed delts create the bolder shoulder look and create the appearance of a wider frame. Remember that the skeletal structure is set where it is, but muscle development can drastically change the shape of the body. And that's the motto they go by, is really that they modify their bodies by excessive exercising. Developing the trapezoid leads to a more defined back and also helps elongate the torso at the front and create a wide-looking neck, adding to the blocky shape. This is another muscle they focus on. Even with all those exercises mixed with hormone therapy, some male celebrities still have a noticeable hourglass figure. Not only that, but their breast will have a strained shape due to breast tissue removal surgery. So here we have two examples of female to male transgenders. Of course, the one at the left is way more convincing than the one at the right, because here you can tell the curve that comes right here. Oh my god, is that self-harm? What the fuck? Okay, you can see it comes in and then it comes out. So here you can tell it's a woman, but this one is a little bit harder to spot. But you can still tell right here, you know, the curve that comes in, and again, wearing the pants really low. There's this curve right here. The breasts are, they have this really strange shape, and this is her before. And again, the shape of the breast is just really strange. So here we have a member Sihoon from EXO, and him, you can tell first by the shape of his breast. They're really strange. It's an unusual shape for a man to have a breast shape like that. And not only that, but you can tell right here how everything comes out at this point by the waist. It comes in and then it comes out right here. And again, it comes in and then it comes out. Here again, you have another example, you know, his capital letter A shoulders, and the shape of his breast is just strange. And again, you have the hourglass thing going on right there. And here you have member Kai from EXO, which is more obvious than Sihoon. One thing with him, it's not necessarily his breast because they are decently shaped, but when you take a look at her figure, her figure is here, and then it stops there at the waist, and then whoom, there's this huge curve starting right there, and you can see, regardless of her pants, because she wears her pants lower to have like this longer torso. But you can see even when you take a look at her side right here, it comes in, and then there's this wide curve coming out of the waist. Here we have member Taemin from SHINee and Super Hem. Here it's when you take a look at our overall body shape. Her breasts are not that weird looking, but here you can tell from her side there's this comes in at the waist and then it comes out. And more precisely on this picture, because it's right here, and then you can see the roundness starting from the waist. And again, you can hear the hip joint. And if you had to like draw a line across, it would look like this. It would go in and then it would come out right there. Food for thought. When we think about the type of exercising FTMs tend to do in order to fake a more masculine appearance, it is interesting that when you search for various groups and exercising and workout, we mostly find images and videos of them doing exercises targeting the upper body. So here we have member Jungkook from BTS, and when you take a look at other members and when you Google exercising and stuff like that, they're mostly doing exercising. They're mostly exercising the upper body because it's to fake this T shape, T body. It's to have this T body shape, and especially the shoulders and the arms, so they could have this a wider shoulder appearance. And here again, it's they will focus on things like biceps and stuff like that, but it honestly doesn't change the rest of their bodies. Also, some K-pop idols are wearing ab suits to emulate the appearance of a muscular torso. So what are ab suits? Is just this shirt you put on, and it makes you look like you have like those defined muscles and stuff like that. And here's an example of what an ab suit look like. There's different types. Here it has no sleeves, but there's ones where it goes down to, there's long sleeves, so you have muscular arms as well. So, and when you take a look at this, it actually looks really convincing. But how can you tell? How can you tell if someone is wearing an abs suit? And here's a clear example of one right here. It's member Jimin, who's clearly wearing an ab suit. Here you can see her overall abs and stuff like that, but where you can tell, it's because of the way it folds right here and at the elbow. A regular elbow doesn't fold like that. It doesn't look like that, so you can tell it's fake. And another way you can tell it's fake as well, it's because she's wearing a absuit with sleeves, long sleeves, and she's hiding her wrists. And why? Because it's where the absuit's end. So she's wearing like huge bracelets and stuff like that to hide the end of the absuit. And also because this is a gym and her stomach right now, it looks nothing like her real stomach. So point number 2, how FTMs are deceiving the masses. They're hiding their shoulders through clothing to emulate a T / inverted triangle and to distract from the wider hips. So here we have a Kai from EXO, sorry. When it comes to BTS, the one thing that they will use especially is to wear shoulder pads. You can see right here is to pretend that their shoulders are wider than what they are, and also to act as if they have a T body shape when it's obviously not the case. And we can see here with member Jin, regardless of the fact that she's wearing shoulder pads, her waist still comes in and comes out right here. Here you have an example from EXO. Here it's the same thing, with the suits, wearing shoulder pads. And you have a member Suho and member Chanyeon and Sehun. Point number 3, they do cosmetic surgery on the face to hide female characteristic like the round jaw, pointy chin, and overall oval round face shape, and we discussed that before. So here we have again member Jungkook and his fake jaw. Same thing for member J-Hope and his fake jaw. It looks fake because it is. Another one, the tattoo. They wear tattoos, but tattoos are not really a thing with BTS, but it's something you can see with other male celebrities and BTS and EXO from time to time for certain performances. They wear clothes to hide their hips, which is especially this oversized fashion thing. They will wear long jackets to cover their hips. Especially here you see Jungkook right here, and here you have member Jin, and you can still tell her wide hips are still there, but she's wearing something to cover it. Again, this oversized fashion thing helps them so they can hide their wide hips. 6, they're standing always in a pose that makes the shoulders squarer or longer. So this is not only for BTS, it's actually for boy groups in general. Here we have a group, they're the little sisters of BTS, TXT, they're from the same company. But one thing they would do, they would either put their hands in front of them or behind them, so it would give like this longer appearance in the shoulder region. And again, you have a member from EXO, Suho and Sehun, who does the same thing. They either put their hands in the front or in front of them or behind them, so it would fake this larger appearance, wider appearance of the shoulders. And here you have another example with Namjoon, Trap Queen Monster, and she puts her arms behind her back, so when you look right here, it actually look bigger than what it really is. You see BTS, it's the same thing. The positions of the hands are this basically the same. It's the same logic to either put your hands in front of you or behind you to have this wider appearance, because if you keep them straight like this, the tiny torso, just like we see on Jungkook right there, would actually show. And another thing that those FTMs, female to male transgender, do is they will bend their hips in front of them do this pose right here is to hide the hourglass shape, because if they stand straight, we could actually see their hips and stuff like that. But if they bend their hips towards the front, then it gives this illusion that it doesn't look as curvy than what it really is. So here we have a Song Minho from Winner. Another one is how FTMs will deceive others. It's with facial hair, either long or short. And here we have somebody I personally cannot stand. It's Steve Aoki, which is obviously a female. Just like BTS, she's a female as well. And in her case, because facial hair is not a thing, it's really not a thing in K-pop. So in her case, she has facial hair to pretend she's a male. Regardless all their deceptive ways, the hips will never hide, so look for that. So again, we have Kai from EXO, like the same thing I've said before. It's when you take a look at her figure, it goes so-called straight, but at some point here above the waist, at the belly button, there's this huge curve starting. So this is something to really pay close attention to. And the energy coming out of their eyes as well. So here you see BTS and the type of energy coming out of their eyes. Some food for thought. Also, those who are trans still have a brain from their original gender. So this is why you may see them getting enjoyment from dressing as females, dressing, because they enjoy looking like a female again. And it's actually really sad. You can see here, this is a BTS member, Rap Monster. He was made to dress as a female for a skit. I think it was for a concert or something like that. And you can see the enjoyment she gets from dressing as a female, especially when you saw the type of styling she usually wears. But when she gets to dress as a schoolgirl and to wear wigs like this, a wig like this, and to pretend to be like a BTS fan, that was the skit was about, she actually gets a lot of enjoyment. And the reason why, it's because she enjoys looking like a woman again. And here's another clip with V from BTS.
귀엽게 봐주세요. 잘 부탁드려요. 이거 먹고 힘내세요.
I may not be the only one, but when I look at this clip, I think it's really disturbing. Some more food for thought. Big Hit Entertainment allegedly allowing transgender people to audition for a new boy group. Rumors are flying that a transgender male auditioned for Big Hit Entertainment in New York and impressed the judges. Again, it's food for thought. Okay, then we are at the most important part of this presentation. The question is, why the entertainment industry would promote or include secret and open transgenders? The question is why. It all goes back to Baphomet and Satan worship. The people who run Hollywood are acting as agents on the behalf of occultists who pull the strings of governments and corporations. In other words, In other words, many spheres of society, including the entertainment industry, is controlled by cult groups, pagans, and individuals involved in mystery religions. Either the Illuminati or Freemasonry, and many more, all of them are Satanists. Here's Baphomet, a depiction of Satan. There is many representation of dualities on its image, the sun and the moon, and the most important, the female with the breast on this creature, and the male represented by the stick between its leg. The male genitalia. Transgenderism, hermaphrodism, and androgyny is the personification of the satanic principle of blending male and female together. It is a representation of Baphomet because he is an androgynous symbol, since he is both male and female. Satan is a deceiver and the father of all lies. He wants to trick as much people as he can into sin, not only spread gender confusion, but oppose God, or Yah, and his creation, which is the original men and women, and only having two genders. Also, Satanists and their slaves aspire to be like the idol they worship, which is androgynous and enlightened with hidden and forbidden knowledge. Sorry, people, I can't read. I'm sorry. So, conclusion about this presentation. Now your thoughts may be, lol, what type of drug are you consuming? BTS are not trans? Jimin and Jungkook obviously have dicks. You're tripping. Okay, you are free to disagree with what I'm saying. Then it confirms that idols are pushing for gender fluidity based on how they promote themselves if they are the gender they claim to be. They have pushed the image of feminized men to the point where it's making it easier for FTMs to blend in, females to male transgender. It is known information that K-pop is a huge pusher of concepts like androgyny, cross-dressing, and feminization on so-called males. They are deliberate effort to confuse children and adults about gender and what a male and female really looks like. Going along this, K-pop is literally turning its audience into zombies, where they will join the army, march, and take bullets for individuals they don't know. Or you may be thinking, I see what you mean. They're obviously secret transgender, but why does it matter? Since you may have been lusting after and worshipping someone who's not the gender they claim to be, it caused you to question yourself and your behavior. You must come to the fact that lusting after those celebrities and treating them like your boyfriend or girlfriend is not only stepping over personal boundaries, but low-key puts you in a compromised situation when it comes to your sexuality, if you claim to be straight. As some food for thought. Then why BTS instigate the desire of people making them into females? By saying this, I mean attaching their faces to female bodies, creating art and written material addressing them as females, directly comparing their facial features and bodies to their female fans, and etc. Here you have an example of that. Some people who paste the faces of BTS on female bodies, on so-called female bodies. Here you have sorry, I'm just say who is who. So here you have Tay Tay. You have McQueen, a rap monster, trap queen monster. On the left you have the beautiful Jimin, and on the right you have J-Hope. On the right you have Jungkook, and on the left you have Jungkook. Yeah, on the right you have McQueen Sugar, rap queen Sugar. You have Jin at the left, and at the right again we have Jungkook. And shit, I'm guilty. I confess, I'm guilty of that myself. God damn it. So, this is a picture I've drawn. I traced and I colored. So, we can just to see who is who. Here you have V from BTS, Kai from EXO, Suho from EXO, Suga from BTS, Jungkook from BTS, Jimin from BTS, Chanyeol from EXO, Taeyong from NCT, and McQueen, Trap Queen Monster, Rap Monster, Cookie Monster. Either you think they are trans or not. Either you think them being trans is relevant or not. What you can take from this presentation is that those K-pop idols and their satanic affiliation can be trusted, and their fans need to stop worshipping and idolizing them. I'm like, damn, with Madonna? Damn. That's from the gutter, right? Like, anybody that takes a picture with Madonna, like, you're from the pits of hell, for real, like, for real. Another time, K-pop proved itself to be nothing but deception and lies. And distracting the masses when there is more important things to worry about, like 5G. So that's all, folks. Let me know if there's an idol in particular you have doubts about or would like to know if they are the gender they claim to be. You can leave its name and group in the comment section so I can help you by doing research and see where it goes. Male or females, the individual will be covered in future episode of the series. In episode 2 of this series, coming soon. And my favorite are Blackpink, Red Velvet, and other female K-pop idols, because in reality, because right here you have a A-list female K-pop idols. In reality, they're men, they're not females. Join me on Discord. I'm Not Your Jenny on Discord, and I've created a server to discuss everything about K-pop symbolism, MV theories, and etc. It is named K-pop Symbolism Chat. Either by message or voice chat. voice chat is easier for me, y'all. Just to let y'all know. Let's keep the conversation going. Those who are interested can leave a comment so I can send them an invitation. But I think I would just I'm gonna leave the link in the description of the video. Instead of so you don't have to leave a comment, because not everybody has a YouTube account, but so you can just click on the link and join. Juste pour vous rappeler que je parle français aussi, alors si vous parlez français, ben vous pouvez joindre aussi, hein. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe or comment. And again, thank you for, I don't know how long this video is, but thank you if you watch it all. And it was really a long video to make, and I hope those who watch it would enjoy it, and the information that was put together was useful in some type of fashion. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And it's actually funny because I worked on the series of the video. I actually worked on the female first, the Blackpink and the Red Velvet. I started with that, but I decided to do BTS first because some people were actually talking about this for some strange reason, right? It was because there's no such thing as a coincidence. Some people were actually talking about BTS being trans, but I wanted to do BTS for episode 2, but I was like, oh, okay, it's better if I do BTS first, because there's actually question about them being the gender they claim to be. And some people are actually wondering about these things. So here it is. Again, I hope you guys enjoy it. It was your host, Not Your Honey. And don't forget to worship Jimin and have a good night.